It's 71,000 square feet of indoor training facility nirvana. Leagues, events, camps, clinics. From Big Easy Sportsplex, 800 Webb Street in the Elmwood area, just off Earhart Expressway. Welcome to Louisiana Baseball. From inside the Big Easy Sportsplex, welcome to year 2 of Louisiana baseball. Eric Ritchie proud to be joined by Joey Cabaceres, a standout from not only Jesuit and UNO, but one of the owners here at the Big Easy Sportsplex. Joey, welcome back to year 2.
Yeah, the pilot season went very well. We were extremely happy with it. I think we helped a lot of kids out, kind of focused on a few programs. It was a good launch pad for us year 2. We're really excited and take baseball in a whole nother direction.
For the next 10 weeks, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll focus on college baseball around the state of Louisiana, also talk about the prep scene. And Joey, I know you take it to heart, very concerned with the safety of youth baseball, and we got that covered as well.
Yeah, we do a really nice program here called Decel Baseball, Decel meaning deceleration. And we have about 50, 60 orthopedists that refer to us. We refer back out. We really try to take care of the little guys, get some evidence-based medicine on those guys, and really just watch their arms and make sure they develop properly.
We'll have a medical minute with Dr. Brett Cassio, his former Jesuit catcher, who now works very closely with the Barb baseball team. We'll go to Lake Charles later in the show, but as we do each and every show, let's go ahead and lead off. And once again, we have a #1 team in the country right here in the state of Louisiana. Let's check in with LSU. After taking 2 of 3 from Ole Miss in their SEC opening series, LSU pulled off a gritty 4-2 win in 10 innings Tuesday night at Southern. With Jake Fraley on first, Cade Savick comes up with the clutch double off the fence. That put runners on second and third. Alex Bregman would plate the go-ahead run with the ground out to second, and LSU would add another run to take a 4-2 lead. Closer Jesse Stallings would work a perfect bottom of the 10th, earning his 9th save of the season, as LSU improves to 19-2, setting up a road SEC series at Arkansas beginning on Thursday.
I think it says a lot about us as a team. It wasn't the prettiest victory tonight, but we found a way to win, and that's what good teams do. You got to find ways to win, whether you're winning by 20 or you're winning by 1, and give them a lot of credit. They played really well tonight, but we were fortunate enough to come away with a win.
It's great to be back in the uniform on the field. Stepping in that batter's box for the first time this season is a unbelievable feeling, especially in as tight of a game as it was. But I'm just happy I got my first AB out of the way, and I'm looking forward to more.
So LSU is #1 in the country for the second week in a row in Baseball America. They come at you with a trio of very young pitchers, which is unique for a #1 team, and it's unique for an SEC team. They have 2 freshmen and a sophomore that they threw on the weekends. A lot of strikeouts for those guys. They executed a lot of pitches, some filthy stuff. But what I noticed more about that team, just watching them just on film, was how much fun they're having, how loose they are. And you never know what a clubhouse is going to look like going year to year. And remember, these guys are still kids. They're still having fun. They look up to each other. They're led by Bregman. So you just don't know how that's going to pan out, but they are certainly having a lot of fun at their job right now.
Joey, another team having a lot of fun this year is the Tulane Green Wave. Under first-year head coach David Pierce, the Green Wave have shot out to a 15-5 start, including a weekend sweep this past weekend against Xavier. Let's go ahead now and check in with the Tulane Green Wave report. What a week for the Green Wave. After another walk-off win Friday against Xavier in extra innings, Tulane rode a great pitching performance by Emerson Gibbs on Saturday, then completed the sweep Sunday. Hunter Hope, with his 3rd home run of the season, started the offensive outburst in the 4th. Then the Green Wave get 3 more in the 5th, sparked by the 2-run single from DH Hunter Williams. On the mound, Alex Massey, 6 2/3 of 1 hit ball out of the pen. End result, Tulane wins 10-3. Combine that with the 15-2 lambasting of Southeastern on Tuesday, and Tulane is off to a 16-5 start.
No, we've been off to a great start, and I've just been really pleased with the way the team has pulled for each other, and they've played hard most of the time. So we just got to keep grinding it, stay locked in.
Still a work in progress. You're just kind of learning about this baseball team. What have you seen that you have liked early on in this year?
Well, early on, we won some big games late. They've really fought well through adversity. They've hung in there together, and that's what we'll keep grinding in them.
Their information they give to us, we just feed off of that. When we follow their lead, and they really know what they're talking about. So when they tell us something here and there, we listen and work on it, try to perfect it.
Is there something specific that's kind of stuck in your mind, or you've noticed even from one of your fellow pitchers?
Well, one thing they've taught me personally was a slider. Just add another pitch that I have, and it's a plus pitch. So, again, their information on that, teaching me how to throw that pitch, it's been, really changed how I pitch.
So Tulane baseball has 4 walk-off wins already this season. So that's a team kind of on a mission, right? They also have a team ERA of 1.64. So their pitchers are getting it done. Everybody seems healthy on that staff. They're using them in a lot of different ways, a lot of different roles. One guy to point out is Emerson Gibbs. He's a local product from New Orleans, went to Jesuit High School. I've known Emerson literally since he was born. When we opened Big Easy Sportsplex, he was one of the first guys to the door. And he and his dad, great family. This kid's a hard worker, and he's another guy who knows how to pitch. So he's National Player of the Year in high school. Having that guy on the staff, coming into his own, starting to mature, expect a lot of good things from Tulane baseball.
We're just getting started here on Louisiana baseball. Time for our first break. Later in the show, we'll head to Lake Charles and check in with our medical minute. But up next,
come on, let's go, baby, let's go!
The Nicholls State Colonels play some outstanding baseball on the Bayou. We'll mic up Coach Seth Thibodeau and find out what this Colonel team is all about this season when Louisiana baseball rolls on.
Great job, Reese, boy!
Louisiana baseball is brought to you by Big Easy Sportsplex, by Royal Honda, AMG Specialty Hospital, and by orthopedic specialist Dr. Brett Cassio.
Big Easy Sportsplex in Elmwood is a 71,000 square foot membership-based indoor sports and fitness center. And it's not just for pros like former LSU star Chad Jones.
I'm a member because my daughter and I can train at the same time here at Big Easy Sportsplex.
I'm a member because while I'm getting ready for my season, my son can do the same.
With membership packages available for families and individuals, stop by and tell us. Why are you a member?
Giving you a great deal is what makes Royal Honda #1 in the greater New Orleans area. Visit us on Veterans in Metairie and RoyalHonda.com.
Royal Honda, the dealership that's different.
I have an athletic club. I have a hard-working club. We have a really good pitching staff, which is amongst some of the best in the country, not just the Southland, but in the country. And our team behind them is still learning themselves a little bit. But with the athleticism, with the hard work and the character that they have, I feel really good. Just the more we play, the better this club's going to be.
That's Nicholls State head coach Seth Thibodeau bringing us back from break here in the season premiere of Louisiana baseball. The Colonels are coming off a historic season last year on the Bayou. This year, it's a new, younger squad, but showing plenty of grit, like they did this past Sunday when we had the mic on head coach Thibodeau trying to avoid a sweep against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. It's time now for the Nicholls State Report.
Eat on 3, 1, 2, 3, eat! New day today, baby!
The Nicholls Report is brought to you by Ortho LA, Tommy Meyer of Ameriprise Financial in Thibodeau, and Chad Hadaway of YKM Consulting.
Colonel Jacques Thibodeau is going to throw out the first pitch today. It's the last day in uniform?
Last day in uniform.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you're going to be with us for it.
No other place I'd rather be than right here we are.
Good. He's a Nicholls grad, a proud Colonel supporter. We're proud to have him part of our program. Outstanding,
Thank
brother.
you, Coach.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for everything you did.
Go get him today, buddy.
Good job. 1, 2, 3, right there. Gotta get out inside. Safe. That a boy. Nice shot. Way to play hard. Good boy. Kick, 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 kick. Come on, let's go, baby. Let's go. Chop, chop, chop. Baseball in front. Great job, Reese, boy. Yeah, that'll boy. Get that hop. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Woo. I'm good. Yes, sir. That's outstanding. Let's go hit. Come on, big guy. Hey, win this pitch right here. Come on. Get a boy. Hey, atta boy. Good job. Let's do. 3, man. So what? We got a game to win. Let's go. We got to do it too. Come on, get off the field with 2. Atta boy. Yes, you did. Let's go win a game, baby. Walk off time. Walk off time. Let's go. Win a game, man. It's on. Gavin got a bounce right here on a drag. Got a bounce on a drag. Score, score, score! Save!
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 3rd run today for the Cardinals. That means that everyone in attendance received a coupon for a free Ragin Cajuns combo. With the purchase of a combo, get through tomorrow. Pick up your orders at the ticket window.
Hey! That was nice, Sid.
He's on track. Thank you. Thank you for winning.
Yeah.
Hey, nice job right there. That's a lot of character and a lot of heart. You understand? You had your backs against the wall all day in a must-win situation right there, and you guys played your hearts out. Okay, that's big-time championship Southern Conference baseball right there. And you took care of business, okay? And you got punched a little bit, and you stayed with it, okay? We weren't fans right there. We were part of it. Everybody was. That's a team win right there. That's just the beginning, okay? Let's continue on. Let's continue on and continue fighting and make sure that we never get back to where we were yesterday. You understand that? I'm very, very proud of you guys. You have no idea how much that took for you to stay with it and take care of business. Outstanding job.
30 right on 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's right.
So coming out of that bunt, really exciting. What a unique way to win a game. And I got to speak really from my heart about this drag bunt. We're seeing a lot more of that in college baseball. You've seen it more in high school baseball. It's a lost art. Guys don't practice it. They always want to hit. But, you know, like my dad always when we were kids, he made us bunt before we took any of these swings. And I used to love drag bunting. I just wasn't very fast, so I didn't do it a whole lot. Let me show you what you have to do in that situation. And before I do, that's a gutsy call by their coach. I mean, that's a big league call. But know that some of these hitters, and maybe that guy as well, they have the right or the green light to do that whenever they like. So if they see the situation is right, guys playing back, people laying off of him, he may want to lay that down. Let me show you the mechanics of that real quick to give you an idea. The only thing you don't want to do in that situation, and it's not about getting there, you know, late or being very deceptive, you don't want the bat to get flat. If that angle gets flat, that ball's coming right back to the pitcher, or you'd not be able to deaden the ball, and then you're out. You're going to have to hit either out or you have to hope somebody else hits the guy in. In that situation, he got his bat head around the ball and he actually pushed it straight down the line. So now that ball's either going to be fair and he's got to hit, or that third baseman's got to make an unbelievable SportsCenter top 10 play, or it's foul and he gets to come back and do it all over again. And with all the excitement of that bunt, let's not forget what Justin Sinibaldi meant to that team this weekend, and I think what he's going to mean to that team moving forward. And I personally know Justin very well. I know his family. His parents were one of the original members of Big Easy Sportsplex. I see him a couple days a week in here already, still hitting with his younger brother who's playing at Delgado. But Justin is a tall, lanky, I love the term, drink of water. Tall drink of water. Has a great form, great format, gets rid of the ball really well. They're doing a lot of work with him there. He's maturing into his body. This kid's going to be a big-time player. I think he's probably going to get drafted pretty high at the end of the day. But Justin Sinibaldi is a name you're going to want to remember.
Joey, very much like Nicholls State, the Ragin Cajuns are a team that have to reload this season in 2015. Tony Robichaux's squad on the road this past weekend at UALR, a very tough way to end that series. For more, let's check in with Ronnie Rance.
This week and all season long, our Ragin Cajun report will be brought to you by AMG Specialty Hospitals in Louisiana. Tony Robichaux's had an amazing career in Lafayette, and earlier this year he picked up his 1,000th victory. He started out his career as a 24-year-old coach at Nicholls State, and after spending some time in Lake Charles, he came to Lafayette in the mid-90s and has done a fantastic job leading Lafayette, of course, to the College World Series in 2000, and last season the Ragin Cajuns were #1 in the country. We caught up with Tony Robichaux.
Well, one good thing, it's the grind, it's the climb. It's never what's on the other side of the mountain. It's really the climb that's important. So it's really all going back to all the great assistant coaches I had through the years that helped me at Nicholls State University, and then on to here, all the our GAs, our volunteer coaches, restricted earnings coaches back then, the players, and then administration. Both presidents from both universities for giving me an opportunity to manage their baseball programs, the ADs there. Groundskeepers, all the people that go into you being successful. It's never just you. So that's kind of, I think, what the big moment was just knowing how many people aided to my success. And then Coach Babineau, of course, having, I think, 732 of those wins on his resume. He doesn't get one of them on his resume. I got them all. And there was nights that, he helped me and attributed to some of those wins, but yet I get them. So, again, I think the credit goes to all the people that helped me get where I've been. And I don't think you can have any success in life without a successor, and mine's Jesus Christ. So I appreciate what he's done for me. I think if you honor him, he'll honor you back. The big difference is learning from your players, and a lot of players believe that you've helped them or they've learned something from you, but the bottom line is we learn from them, and you got to learn and you got to grow, because society changes and it changes the lenses that these players look through, and the game has changed since I first got in it 29 years ago. Not only the baseball has changed, but the game has changed through the years. So change is like a curve in the road. I think you got to make it. If you stay straight, you'll run right off the road. And so we've had to make some adjustments through the 29 years of handling these players, because time has changed them. We're handling a different athlete today, and baseball is being played all over the country different today with select baseball. 48% of Major League Baseball is from a foreign country. So, baseball is a unique game right now and being handled differently underneath us, and we're seeing that as they come up through the select baseball ranks. So we've had to make adjustments, teach more leadership, reteach kids how to compete. I think that's changed today. It's hard to find leaders. You can find another third baseman, but it's finding a leader that's not scared to lead, and then finding guys that want to compete, that want to throw down, because today, they give a medal to everybody even though you finish in 12th place. And so we've taken compete out of our vocabulary. So those are the two things I think that have changed the most since I first started in 29 years ago.
No doubt, Tony Robichaux, when all said and done, will go down as not only one of the best college baseball coaches in Louisiana, but one of the best college baseball coaches in the country. Well, next week on the AMG Specialty Hospital Report, we'll focus on Blake Trahan. The preseason All-American shortstop from Kinder, Louisiana, is off to a great start. Let's go back to the Big Easy Sportsplex. Here's Joey.
UL is one of my favorite clubs to watch play baseball, and I really like those coaches a lot. We do a nice showcase here at Big Easy Sportsplex for those guys to look at some of the local talent, and I love sitting down with them talking about baseball, talking about their team, and here's why. And it's very near to my heart, and that's the team educational model. What that means is we're going to play in a team system where people have dynamic roles. We're going to educate through the entire process, and at the end of the day, we'll all be better for it, not only as a team, but as individuals, and we're going to be better in character as well as better as players. Here's the deal with UL. They have to reload. They lost some studs. They still have Blake Trahan, who I think leads the team in every offensive category except home runs, and he's a leader. He's a scrapper. He's going to be there all day for you. But they still have to reteach their kids and this team how to get through some adversity. They lost 2 walk-offs in a row in that doubleheader. So, their coach talked about how it was a good test. They moved forward with it, and they're going to be a better team for it. And he's right. One thing that always strikes me about UL, they talk about their kids coming from a different model, maybe the personal exposure model, into theirs, and they almost have to break them in like new horses. And I think what you're going to see is a team that climbs all during the year and is way better for it.
Time for us to take another break here in the season premiere of Louisiana baseball. When we return, we head to Lake Charles and check in for our medical minute. Louisiana baseball from the Big Easy Sportsplex, back after this.
Giving you a great deal is what makes Royal Honda #1 in the greater New Orleans area. Visit us on Veterans in Metairie and RoyalHonda.com.
Royal Honda, the dealership that's different.
When it comes to you or a loved one facing a long-term stay in a hospital, there are other long-term acute care hospitals, and then there is AMG Specialty Hospital. AMG Specialty Hospital is a long-term acute care hospital known as a LTAC. We are designed to give care to patients who require an extended hospital stay. AMG Specialty Hospital focuses on putting our patients first, which is why 90% of our specialty hospital patients and their families would recommend us to others. Other LTACs will care for you. AMG Specialty Hospital will care about you. AMG is committed to delivering quality health care to our patients within the communities we serve. Go ahead, ask your doctor which LTAC hospital they would trust most for their own loved ones. If you're looking for a pretty hospital, they're out there. But if you're looking for the best long-term acute care hospital with great patient care, AMG is proudly serving 8 locations in Louisiana and 7 other locations within the United States. So when the best care is as close as this, there's absolutely no reason to go to any LTAC other than AMG's healthcare management for complex medical needs.
Welcome back to the Big Easy Sportsplex. It's Louisiana baseball, and Joey Cabaceres, one of your former teammates, will be the guy that we turn to for medical advice this year.
Yeah, Dr. Brett Cassio, Brett as we know him, right? He was one of our catchers at Jesuit High School, graduated my senior year, was not in any of my classes, but that's why we go to him. I want to read this to you because I couldn't even remember it. His specialty, obviously, orthopedics and sports medicine. He went to Duke University out of Jesuit, so he's one of the guys, he got into Duke. Then Louisiana State University for medical school, did his internship at Johns Hopkins Hospital, did his residency at Johns Hopkins, and then did a sports medicine fellowship at Steadman Hawkins Clinic. He also did some work with the Colorado Rockies. He gets called all over, went with the San Francisco Giants, the Baltimore Orioles. This guy is a really unique individual. He's one of these really cool, young, dynamic orthopedic surgeons.
Certainly a guy who has well-reputable background, but also a guy who works on the lower levels with the high school kids and really kind of opens his doors to everybody's background. And that's really something that's going to be special. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of here and let these guys talk about hip scopes, which is our first topic on the Medical Minute.
Brett, hey man, thanks for being on the show this year. You're going to take care of all of us the entire season. Go right into it and talk about hip scopes. So tell us a little bit about that. A lot of people don't know what hip scopes are. Tell us what the advantage of a hip scope is and really the advantage for the younger athlete as well.
Thank you, Joey. That's a great question. A hip arthroscopy, or otherwise known as the hip scope, is a relatively new procedure that has exploded over the last few years as technology and training has increased across the country and really the world. And its goal is to treat a problem in the hip called femoroacetabular impingement. And I know that's a long word. We call it FAI, or hip impingement. A lot of people that know about shoulder have heard the word shoulder impingement, and it's a similar thing, although hip impingement can lead to arthritis, whereas shoulder impingement usually leads to rotator cuff tears. And we can talk more about that in a different show. But we're going to focus on hip labrum tears today, and hip labrum tears are caused by the femoroacetabular impingement, otherwise known as the FAI, or the hip impingement. And this is what impingement means. You have abnormal shaped bones where they're hitting together in an abnormal way, and then it tears your labrum. And the labrum is a rubbery cushion inside your hip, and that can cause pain and problems that we now can treat with hip arthroscopy.
And what are the advantages of the hip scope procedure, especially for the younger athletes?
Well, with the hip arthroscopy procedure, you can address these hip ailments without having to do a large open surgery. It's akin to the shoulder labrum in the 80s. The shoulder labrum, or the slap tear, wasn't really diagnosed until the 80s, and since then it's exploded. Well, the hip is about 20 to 30 years behind the shoulder. Imagine in the early 80s, if you had a shoulder pain and we called it a shoulder strain, some pitchers never made it back to play, and it was due to a shoulder strain. Well, now we know that was probably a labrum tear of the shoulder. It's similar with the hip. Patients are diagnosed, and young kids are diagnosed with these labrum tears, and they can't play, and they're called, I'm sorry, I have to go back.
That's okay. You know what, I'll pick it up with just what are the advantages of the hip scope procedure, especially with the younger athletes?
With the younger athletes, we can diagnose these hip problems, which previously were called hip strains or hip pointers or groin pulls. Now we know that these are labrum tears, and we can address these either non-surgically or surgically and make the tears better for the patients to be able to go back to playing. Not all of these need surgery. Some can be treated without surgery, but the important thing is making the diagnosis. And prior to in the last few years, we called these hip pointers or groin strains or hip strains, and we weren't making the labrum diagnosis. But now, with increased education and training, we know what the hip labrum is, and we know what the problem is, and we can make that diagnosis. And with the hip arthroscopy, we have the ability through 2 small poke holes to address the tear and fix the tear and get players back to the field.
Brad, again, thanks a lot for doing the show, and for the rest of the season, we're looking forward to checking back in on all these different topics. Next week, as a matter of fact, we're going to look at Braden Como, who you actually did a hip scope on. We'll do a little feature on him. Right now, we're going to look at Braden's team, the Bar Bucks, hear from Coach Giacchini and how those guys are doing.
I think the one thing is that we genuinely love one another. And I know that sounds crazy. Talent's a given. You know, you got to have talent to win, and we're definitely talented. We have tremendous work ethic. We have a passion for the game. The kids love it, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win. Our guys are really trying to pave their own way. We're not trying to compare to last year's team. Last year's team was the most successful team in the history of Louisiana. No team has ever won a national championship in baseball at any level. And they've been playing baseball for a long time. There's been a lot of great teams. In all fairness to this team, it wouldn't be fair to compare last year's team with this year's team. We're young. We got a lot of sophomores, young team. But we really feel that our goal is to win a state championship every year. And we feel that, you know, there's a lot of good teams in the state, but we really got a chance.
Big Easy Sportsplex in Elmwood is a 71,000 square foot membership-based indoor sports and fitness center. And it's not just for pros like former LSU star Chad Jones.
I'm a member because my daughter and I can train at the same time here at Big Easy Sportsplex.
I'm a member because while I'm getting ready for my season, my son can do the same.
With membership packages available for families and individuals, stop by and tell us. Why are you a member?
Giving you a great deal is what makes Royal Honda #1 in the greater New Orleans area. Visit us on Veterans in Metairie and RoyalHonda.com.
Royal Honda, the dealership that's different.
We're down to our final segment here in Louisiana baseball, and as always at the Big Easy Sportsplex, Joey Cabaceres has all kind of cool, fun gadgets.
Yeah, just like my dad when I was a kid, bought all the greatest toys for us. This is called Pro Mirror, and we use this a lot in some video analysis, but some biomechanical work. It's a little downgrade from what they would do in a true biomechanical lab, but it's really easy. It's like a big iPad. I'm going to show you something on an amateur and on a professional, and we'll cover some topics each week on pitching and hitting. This is an easy one that I think everybody overlooks. First thing is, what we don't want to do as a pitcher is we don't want to watch these guys get gathered. We don't want to stop at the top. And I see this a lot at you know, kid ball or rec ball or travel ball, where they tell the pitcher to pick that knee up and balance on one leg. Well, that's really not happening here. And if you can zoom in, you can kind of see on this Pro Mirror, as he gets to his apex, it gets up, he's actually getting pulled off of his backside. So his hip is already heading in that direction. He's getting his lower half in front of him. And the next piece of this, you look at this guy who's a college player, and he's a nice player, throws pretty hard, he's a lefty. Same thing, he is pretty much straight up and down. So when you talk about like arm injuries and biomechanical efficiency and sequencing, this is where these things start to happen. The last piece I want to show you, because this is important, watch how they move, and we'll highlight the knee. Watch this guy's knee, and watch this guy's knee. And as you go forward, his knee starts to drive down and in, his knee's bowed out the other way. So right there, he's made a mistake he's going to have to recover from.
So you thought Joey Cabaceres knew just about hitting? That's for his playing days. This guy knows all about pitching as well. But that'll do it for our first episode of Louisiana Baseball. For Joey Cabaceres, I'm Eric Ritchie. So glad you're with us. 10 more weeks to go here from the Big Easy Sportsplex.
See you next week.
Good night, everybody. Royal Honda, it's the official vehicle of Ritchie on Sports.